Okay, this is part 2 of how to build a Hugelbed, and as you can see here, just following on from the last video, I'm laying out the cardboard. Not absolutely necessary, but a good idea because cardboard encourages worms and all sorts of creepy crawlies into your timber, which all helps with the decomposition. Worms especially, for some reason, are drawn to cardboard, so whether you're doing any kind of raised bed situation, even container gardening, it's a good idea to put some cardboard into the bottom just to help with this activity. If they've got any big heavy staples in it, I would advise just to pull them out. Not so much on this Hugelbed, but on a raised bed, because it saves you getting them caught in your fingers whilst you're doing the gardening, which is never really a good idea. Right, here we can see the first batch of heavy logs, branches, etc. that's been laid down. A lot of these were cuttings from trees that were bordering the garden area, some old tree trunks that were lying about. You can use any kind of wood in here, whether it be new or old. Half rotten actually is preferable because it will help speed up the process, but avoid timber like oak or cedar wood, for instance, both of which are quite resistant to decomposition and rot. So the whole idea here is for it to rot down and allow the whole decomposition process to create a good growing medium for you. So avoid very resistant trees, very resistant hardwood trees. Here you can see we've added a lot of smaller sticks, twigs, branches. So you put the heavier gear down first, and then you'll pack it in with all the small twigs and branches that are lying around, any small bits of stick, just to help fill in the holes and the cavities, and overall it will give you a good base for adding the turf and the soil, as you will see in the next video, in the next section coming up here. And here we have my sister being pulled in to help me with the infill. As you see, we're just getting a load of topsoil, barrow it in, and then shovel it into and through the sticks, letting it percolate down through all the twig mass there to create a good sound base. This will all help to create the compost, which is ultimately what you're attempting to do here with the Hugelbed. You're creating a compost material, and as the wood decomposes, wood becomes porous like a sponge, and it's this sponge effect that holds any water that's added to it over a long period of time, which in turn means that there's very little irrigation or watering needed once the bed is actually established. To be fair, this might take maybe the second year before this process really starts to take place. Idea is that you would start to build this, I would tend to build this in autumn, at least leave it over winter to settle down. Here you see adding the turf that we took away earlier, put it green side down. Your green material is basically your nitrogen, and the nitrogen will help kick off the decomposition process. It will feed the microorganisms and cause the whole thing to rot down, and your turf itself will eventually rot and become fantastic composting material for growing your vegetables. You want a steep enough angle to make operation easy enough, but not too steep that you can't grow anything on it, so you don't want it like a wall. This is me just tamping it down a bit, pressing it down. So we just continue the process, keep topping up the soil. We're lucky in this situation where I have a big heap of topsoil just at the back of the lot, so I'm able just to fill it in. To be fair with you, this is the hard graft part. It's all quite labour intensive until it's set up. Once it's actually set up, like most things, all the work is in the preparation. After this, it's plain sailing, so to speak. Just finishing it off, take out any bits of scrap and old sticks that are sticking out. It doesn't have to be too neat, just getting it ready for planting up here, creating a decent angle, making sure that everything is properly covered. This soil and the whole heap will eventually settle down, so that's why by the time, if you do this in the autumn, by the time the following spring arrives, it will have settled down a bit. And this is just giving it a sprinkling of water. We'll put the sprinkler over to the other side once this side is well soaked, and again this just helps to soak the whole thing, pull the soil down through the twigs and the branches. By springtime, this will all be ready to plant up. We can get planting maybe with courgettes or cabbages or whatever we fancy really, maybe even set up a frame, plant some beans around it, growing beans up. This will be a growing compost heap now for 10 to 15 years with minimal need for fertilisation once it all starts off. There you have it, the Hugelbed.